been VE week.
Recording.
So, are we all okay?
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning, Chris.
Good morning.
Morning, Keith.
Morning, Chris.
Morning, everyone.
Right.
Hi, Keith.
Can I just introduce our latest Zoom member, which is Lol. Most of you already know Lol, but for Chris and Tony in particular, Lol is one of the Manor members. And the
Don't
Blade.
make him a bad person.
I like him already.
Yeah,
The only fault John's got is that he's a Wednesdayite. That's his only fault.
Oh, there's no.
Hang on. There are
The only
other...
fault I've got a lot more faults than that, mate. Give me credit for something.
You haven't quite got it, John. You put your hand up and then be invited to speak.
Yeah, but he's slow. Yes, but he's slow.
Right. Okay. We'll start off with John because he's told me that he's got a 10-minute diatribe for us
Okay.
all.
Just let me get settled. Okay, I'm ready.
No, it's only. I just thought it being VE week. I thought about football during the World War II, and we've had one or two items about that at our sessions at Crystal Peak. But I looked up the Football League War Cup. So the Football League War Cup was an association football tournament held between 1939 and 45. It aimed to fill the hole left in English football by the cancellation of the FA Cup during the Second World War. Throughout the latter 30s, it was becoming inevitable, this is a history lesson here, that Second World War with Germany was coming. On 3rd of September 1939, we know all that business anyway. Shortly after the war was declared, most competitions were abandoned as the country's attention turned to the war effort. Over 780 footballers signed up to fight in the war, and as a result, many of England's best teams were depleted. For example, Liverpool saw 76 players sign up, Wolves 91, and Huddersfield, Leicester and Charlton all saw over 60 players sign up for the war. They've got big squads, haven't they? Because of this, many teams fielded guest players instead. The FA Cup extra preliminary round was played, but with hostilities declared before replays took place and a 50-mile travelling limit, that competition too was abandoned. The Football League War Cup was held between 39 and 45 to fill the hole left by the absence of the cup, the normal cup. 1939-40. The final was between West Ham and Blackburn Rovers, and West Ham won 1-0 thanks to a goal by Sam Small. Played on the pardon. Attendance. You what?
He probably wasn't registered properly.
Probably not.
He was probably owned by a different manager and a different club at the time.
He probably was.
But the FA said it would be okay.
That's true. Just like they did when Manchester United played us after Munich. Yeah, you can play who you want. Yeah. Attendance.
John, when did they play the final?
When?
Yeah.
8th of June, 1940.
Oh.
42,399 crowd. 137 games, including replays, were played to get to the final of the inaugural War Cup. These matches were condensed into just 9 weeks. See, you can do it. You can finish the season. Yeah. Despite the fears that London would be bombed by the Luftwaffe, fans came in thousands to watch the game at Wembley, despite its obvious danger as a bombing target.
It's just after Dunkirk.
Yes.
So there would be a lot of tension about an invasion.
That's right. Yeah, but yeah, 42,000 went to watch a football game.
And aren't we repeating history? Because isn't that the fear? If, for example, we restarted the football here, they won't use Anfield because too many Liverpool supporters would try and get in to celebrate winning the league. It's true.
That's very true. Very true. The 1940-41 final was between Preston and Arsenal. Andy McLaren scored for Preston, Dennis Compton for Arsenal in a 1-1 draw. That was at Wembley, 10th of May 41, 60,000 crowd. Yeah. In the replay, Preston won 2-1. Bobby Beattie scoring both for Preston and Frank Gallimore for Arsenal. And that was played at Ewart Park, Blackburn. 31st of May 41, 45,000 there at Blackburn. In the 9 months leading up to the final, 127 large-scale night raids had taken place, with London, the home of the final, being a regular target. This threat didn't stop 60,000 attending the final. Preston North then beat Bury, Bolton, Tranmere 12-1, Manchester City and Newcastle 2-0 to reach the final. Andrew McLaren scored 9 goals during the tournament, including 5 goals in Preston's 12-1 win over Tranmere. Thanks to a late equaliser from Arsenal's Dennis Compton, it finished in the final finished in a draw, as I've said. The win for Preston meant that they had completed the first wartime league and cup double, having also won the Northern Regional League. 1942 final was Sunderland and Wolves, a 2-2 draw, played at Roker Park, attendance 35,000, 23rd of May 1942. And the replay, Wolves won 4-1. Westcott, Broom and Rowley 2. Rowley, not the Rowley. Rich Carter scored for Sunderland. That was played at Molyneux, 43,000 crowd. And the third competition, 1942, saw the final switch to a 2-legged format, with each team playing 1 leg on their home ground. This was the only time in the tournament's history that the final was decided in such a way. Eric Robinson of Wolves was to die soon after his team had won the tournament during a military exercise. 1943, he was divided into North and South finals, and in the North final, Blackpool drew 2-2 with Sheffield Wednesday in that game. Attendance 28,000 on the 1st of May 1943. And in the replay, in the second leg at Hillsborough, 42,657 crowd on the 8th of May, where we were surely going to win the cup, but Blackpool beat us 2-1. So we didn't win the northern leg of the cup. In the South final, Arsenal beat Charlton Athletic 7-1, and in the actual final, Blackpool beat Arsenal. 75,000 crowd. Sorry, the 75,000 crowd was Arsenal against Charlton Athletic in the semi. In the final, there was a 55,000 crowd at Stamford Bridge. In its final 3 years, the competition was split into North and South halves, with the winners of each section competing in a playoff. The 1944 final, the North leg, it was Blackpool again, won 2-1 at home and lost 4-2 away. And in the South final, Charlton beat Chelsea 3-1. In the final, Charlton and Villa drew 1-1 in front of a 38,000 crowd. The crowds are getting smaller. They shared it. They didn't have a replay or extra time or anything, or a golden goal. Due to transport restrictions and bombing threats, a replay was not an option. The game ended in a draw, so they shared the 44 trophy. In 1945, Bolton beat Manchester United 1-0 at home and drew 2-2 at Old Trafford in the away leg. So in the final, Chelsea had beaten Millwall 2-0. So in the final, Bolton beat Chelsea 2-1 at Stamford Bridge in front of a 35,000 crowd. So that was it. That's the 6 wartime finals, and Bolton did very well during that period.
Can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the First World War, was there a cup then?
Yes, there was, and you know very well that Sheffield United won the 1915 final. People were dying in the trenches on the front line, and United were frivolously winning the FA Cup in 1915.
Just like all those other teams were in the Second World War.
That's true.
Like Wednesday, Munich.
And Wednesday lost. Oh, well, it's just one of those.
And Wednesday lost, yeah. Wednesday lost. So that was it.
That's very good, John. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
John. Good
Of course, it was unique, but I didn't know so much about the wartime cup, except that we lost to Blackpool.
Good research.
Yes, Keith.
Whilst I was finding information for Doug and Albert's birthdays, one thing that I noticed in the wartime games between United and Wednesday, the biggest attendances were always at Bramall Lane, not at Hills.
Is that because of travel restrictions?
The
Probably
transport.
because of travel restrictions, but I mean, one year or one set of fixtures that were very close together. There was something like 38,000 at Bramall Lane and only 19,000 at Hillsborough.
Yeah. United actually couldn't be bothered to travel.
No, that's
Or they took the attendance at the end of the game when United were winning.
Very good. Very good.
Bouncing up and down.
right. Do you want a few facts about today?
Go on then.
Right.
Yes, go on then.
Amy Johnson took off in 1930 to become the first.
What you take off?
Solo.
Ian, remember your cufflinks.
Oh yeah, John, I've got my cufflinks on,
What
mate.
have you got your cufflinks on?
I've got my cufflinks.
In
Very good. Oh, very good.
1962, the West Side Story soundtrack album went to #1 and stayed #1 for guess how long?
2.5 years.
3 years.
No, not quite that long.
6
It
months.
was 54 weeks.
That'll do. But when you're a Jed, you're a Jed. All the way from your first cigarette to your last dying day. Thank you.
Yeah,
I
good
once
man.
knew a girl.
Can you mute him?
As long as it's not neutered.
In 1966, Borussia Dortmund won the European Cup Winners' Cup in Glasgow. Who did they beat?
Rangers.
No, neutral venue.
Yeah,
Barcelona.
but if they'd set the venue at the beginning of the season, they wouldn't know that Rangers were getting to the final, was my point.
All right, it was the Rangers.
Was it?
Good answer.
I'm surprised that one of our members doesn't know this.
It was the Rangers.
It's a clue that one of our members here should know this.
What, Liverpool?
It was Liverpool.
Hmm.
He's asleep.
I can't get a word in.
Put your hand up.
In 2005, Tony Blair's Labour Party won the election for a third consecutive time. In 2012, the FA Cup final at Wembley, Chelsea won 2-1. Who did they beat?
Leeds.
Millwall?
No,
Man United.
no.
Crystal Palace.
Again, you should know this.
Who should know this?
One of our group should know this.
Not Liverpool again.
It was Liverpool again. Sorry,
2012 FA Cup.
yeah.
Yammering Liverpool.
Anyway,
Select-
2014,
Fake news,
Mark
Ian, fake
Selby.
news.
Mark Selby beat who to win the first of his 3 world titles?
Come on, Paul.
Matthew Stevens.
No. More famous than him. A lot more
Henry.
famous. No.
Or Sullivan then.
O'Sullivan, that's correct. Yes. So, other people born on the 5th of May. Karl Marx in 1818. Sir Gordon Richards, 1904. 1942, Tammy Wynette.
Sammy Wynette. Stand by your man.
Marvellous voice.
Least of
You like it
theirs,
here,
so
Paul?
Yeah. Marvellous voice.
1943, Michael Palin. Also 1943, Andy Roxburgh.
Yeah. My mum and dad got married on 28th of April 1943.
Right.
So I'm not what you think I am.
1957 was Richard E. Grant. 1961, Alan Shepard became the first US astronaut in space. 1972, James Cracknell was born. 1980, the SAS rescue of the Iran embassy ended.
Yeah.
1981, Craig David was born. And 1988, Adele was born. So that's the bit
Good songwriter, terrible singer.
today. So, has anybody got any news for us, fake or otherwise?
No, but I did come across a quote about Ian's, one of Ian's favourites. If you don't mind me reading it, it won't take long. When Bob Paisley sat down in the manager's office on his first day in charge of Liverpool, he found a note left by Bill Shankly. The note was intended by Bill to be a confidence booster for Bob and simply read, Bill Shankly says Bob Paisley is the best football manager in the country. Bob read the note from his friend and predecessor, added 2 commas, stuck it in an envelope and posted it back to Bill. It read, Bill Shankly says Bob Paisley is the best football manager in the country. Just thought you'd like that to you.
Very good. Any more offerings?
One more for John.
Yes.
Right. Chris wants to say something.
Well, it's just a recollection, really. Somebody mentioned, was it John mentioned Dennis Compton a few times?
Yeah.
And I have got a very personal story. It'll only take a couple of minutes, but
it
might be vaguely interesting.
Yeah.
In 1955, Dennis Compton was playing for Middlesex at Trent Bridge. And my dad was 12th man for Notts as a very young boy. He was about 18, making his way, but he was 12th man. And a wicket fell, and my dad walked on as a substitute for a fielder with the incoming batsman, which was Dennis Compton, which, if you can imagine an 18-year-old fanatical cricket player making his way, walking onto Trent Bridge with the greatest player possibly he could think of, that in itself would have been quite a story. But what happened next was extraordinary in that Dennis Compton pushed forward at his first delivery, edged it, and the fielder was my dad. And my dad caught Dennis Compton, first ball, 0 at Trent Bridge. And the research I haven't done, but Dennis Compton's number of times he was out 0 first ball must have been probably that one occasion, probably. Anyway, so then the fielder, the Notts fielder, was ready to come back on the field. So my dad walked off with Dennis Compton at Trent Bridge all the way back to the pavilion. And it took 1 minute, apparently. He walked on with Dennis Compton, who was a charming person to my dad, charming, spoke to my dad all the way to the wicket, was out 0 first ball and walked off with my dad.
Amazing.
And my dad has always said that it's a world record because nobody could beat that.
Yeah, that's a terrific story.
It's extraordinary. And anyone wants to do any research, if you've got a 1956 Wisden, it's page 519. Obviously, it says Dennis Compton, 0, Bol Bruce Dooland, caught sub, because in those days, they didn't name the people who, if there was sub, they didn't name them, or they didn't do run-outs, you see.
Yeah.
But it does say caught sub, and that is the story behind that. And I thought, having heard Dennis Compton mentioned, I think it was John, wasn't it, who mentioned him?
That's it.
It's just a sporting memory, and I thought, hey, you know, I'll tell it because it is
It's
true.
a brilliant one, Chris.
Fantastic.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
What
Amazing.
year? It was page 519, Wisdom. What year?
Well, it was the 1955 season.
Yeah.
So it was in the 1956 Wisdom. And apparently it's on page 519. I haven't bothered looking actually this morning, but apparently that's what it's on.
Okay, I'm just making a note of it because if I can dig it out,
Yeah, please do.
I'll put it on the website.
Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic.
Anyway,
Just one
that's
for
it.
John, Keith.
Thank you, lads.
Yeah. Tony?
Yeah. Just a little story for John, Keith.
Oh, thank you very much.
In the 1960s, I left school and the first job was at John Temple's Tailors on Pinston Street. And my boss...
Was it you that took my inside leg?
My boss was Ray Atkins, who was the best friend of Tony Kay.
Oh,
Tony
right.
Kay, yes, so it's quite interesting in that. Tony used to, before he went training with all the squad at Hillsborough, used to bring his little son down to John Temple, and I used to have to look after him. He was called Ricky, while they went training, and I'd got him all day. I had to go out and buy him milk and get him to help me clean the trousers and brush the jackets and everything. And then Tony used to return afterwards at night and pick him up. This is every day in the week when there was training. He tried every single way to try and convert me to a Wednesdayite from a Unitedite, and my boss was a mad Wednesdayite, obviously being Tony Kay's friend.
He didn't try bribing you, did he?
I wouldn't do that.
You're taking him money.
Eventually, he persuaded me to go to Hillsborough one Monday night, and Wednesday was playing Arsenal. And he took me in the changing room, introduced me to McInerney, Swan, and all the squad, and that. It was great. Give me the best seat in the stadium I could wish for.
Were they
And
facing the pitch?
Wednesday lost 1-0. so after the match, it took me in the changing room again, and that had a word with him. He ran me home. And the next morning, I went to work in that, waiting for him to bring his son in again in the morning. And I said to him, I thought you was a good side. So he says, we are a good side. I said, well, you lost 1-0 and that, but I must admit, you was a very, very, very good side in that. And he tried to persuade me several times after that to go to Hillsborough again, but I never went in that. Kept in contact with him when I left the company and with my boss, Ray Atkins. The last time I've heard where he was in Spain running a cafe, and I couldn't tell you what he's doing now and that, but quite a good story in that. But believe me, being a mad Unitedite, Sheffield Wednesday was a very, very good side. It was.
They were in those days, yeah.
Yes, very, very good side and that. Enjoyed the occasion and that, and I thought I'd just let John know.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. Thank you. I mean, to be fair, we were both very good sides at that time, weren't we? We were both in the top six in the first division.
Yeah, they were the best one Wednesday. Yeah.
Right. Can I, Lol, just a second, Ian's got something. Ian?
I'll wait for Lol, but just to let you know, I've got a couple of quiz questions. And also, I get a newsletter now from a guy who's 82 years of age. And Big Paul, you'd be interested to know, he's an ex-Oxford policeman who lives in this area. So when it's my turn, I'll let you have I'll read out his newsletter to you.
Not Inspector Morse, is it?
So, Lol. Yes, Lol.
Yep. Going back to Tony Kay, when he came back to England, he worked as a groundsman in the London area. And then he retired back to his hometown, well, back to Liverpool, where he's still living, as far as I know.
Really?
Oh, that's interesting, that. Yeah.
I don't know what clubs he grounded for, but he became a groundsman.
He had a cafe for a long time in Spain, actually. He went to
Big
Spain
Paul.
for quite a few years.
Yeah, Big Paul next.
Keith, I've got a technical issue. I've got to restart and update now to stay supported screen.
I'll come and have a look. I'll just leave the Athens and over.
So what are we doing
Fly
next
back.
Well,
Fly back.
This and
And with a BBC whoosh, he was there.
Dave Redfern's got his hand up.
does
Yes, Dave.
Go ahead,
Tony-
Dave.
Tony Kay is probably living with Pew.
Yeah, they both disappeared, didn't they? Yeah. Has anybody got any quiz questions? I mean, Keith appeared where Paul was. Wasn't
I've got
a couple.
John.
he? Yeah.
As I said, before,
Ian?
I've got a couple of things. Now's the
Yeah,
time.
what you got, Ian? I'll be back to you, lol, in a bit.
Okay.
Yes, Ian.
I'll do the newsletter first. I want to try this out because this guy who I've talked about, they call him the ambassador for the home. He actually goes around, actually does what you do, John. Knits
Nothing.
all the community together and brings them together. So unfortunately, he's been locked out of the home because they're in permanent lockdown. They've had 2 cases of staff getting this virus. Fortunately, it's not spread within the home. But he's producing this newsletter, and he's got a dry sense of humour, so I hope it works. But letter number 9, first of all, he says, with a bit of luck, by the end of the week, we'll be allowed to talk to ourselves. Don't hold your breath. Then he comes up with a little rhyme, rather like John, old John. There was an old man from Bicester who was walking one day with his sister when a bull with one coat tossed her into an oak, and the silly sod never missed her. Then he has a quiz question of a word with an obscure meaning. Anybody know what juncataceous means?
It's a description of Keith Loft.
Juncataceous. It's very close to it. Very close to
Jenny
it. John.
says fed up of clutter.
It's the definition of worthless.
Mm.
And then he comes out with some pithy statements. One from Emerson: "He has not learned the lesson of life who does not every day surmount a fear." Now that's profound for you.
Mm.
Economy is going without something you do want in case you should someday want something you probably don't want. That's Anthony Hope, 1894. John Paul Getty: "The meek shall inherit the earth, but not the mineral rights." One for the government: "People with open minds should wear warm hats." My wife has a terrible memory. She doesn't forget anything. Writing things down is the best secret of good memory. A smart husband, here you are, John, this is for you. A smart husband is one who thinks twice before saying nothing.
Mm. Mm.
Right. So he does this. I mean, he said he's 82 years of age. He
Yeah,
does
it's great.
sends it round every week, and I'm trying to talk him into joining our group. I've given him the link to the website, and as you know, I've given the link of the website to Barchester, who own this care home, and it's a national network of care homes.
Yeah.
And they're thinking of putting it on their website, so Sheffield will go national. I'm trying to do that. I know it's a punt, but I think, once we've got the opportunity, we can sell Sheffield to a few folk and actually get some alternative input. Keith wants to come in.
From the group.
Tell her I'll ring him back in.
Yeah. It can ring you back, right?
John, do you have any
Yes,
contact for the other groups, such as the one at Totley, isn't there?
There's one at Totley, one at Woodseats Library, one at Ecclesall, one at Woodhouse Library, one at Firth Park.
I'm just wondering if you've got some contacts, maybe we could get in touch with them and see if there's any of them are interested in joining.
Yeah, I could do. I could send an email to all of them. Yeah, I'll do that.
But you've set up, John and Keith, 2 or 3 forms of communication, in my view. You've got your WhatsApp, you've got email, which is for administration, and you've got the website.
Text.
Of those, WhatsApp is a regular virtual meeting, but in between those meetings, you've got the website, which is less intrusive, so people can use it just like they use a library if and when they want to. But you're keeping the communication going, and it allows you to network. And I think for Sheffield, because there's so much going on, I think it's a brilliant idea. And I think it's an opportunity to sell Sheffield home of football to the rest of the country. I know it's a pie in the sky dream, if you like, but if you don't try it, it never happened. Sort of
Very
thing.
true. I will write to all the others in Sheffield anyway and alert them to the website.
The website's easy to set up. It's getting the following that's the issue. And I think, you know, if we use it and just talk about it in communication, you'll find all sorts of people will start chipping in and you start getting interesting stuff. Anyway, that's just my...
Thank you, Ian.
It's my turn again. I've got a couple of questions. Maybe it's for the second half, Keith. It's up to you.
Yeah. Lol was next in the queue, Keith.
Thank you. Okay. First of all, hello, Doug.
Hello.
Nice to see you again.
And you.
Right. That's fine.
Yeah.
Question 1. Did anybody know when the first Football League match to be played on a Sunday, what year it was and who it was between? The first Football League ever played on a Sunday in England was between two clubs. What year?
Yeah, early 70s, wasn't it?
The early 70s.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be somebody like Liverpool and Man United, or Man United and Tottenham.
I remember
surprised
Wednesday playing one of the Bristol clubs.
You'll be very surprised when you hear the answer.
Yeah. Wednesday played Bristol City in the early 70s on a Sunday.
But anybody idea what year it was? We'll get the year first.
73?
Nearly.
72.
Wrong way, John.
74.
74.
Right, now the both teams are in the Championship at the moment.
Wednesday?
The Premier League, so they weren't big teams that were playing.
Wednesday?
Derby County?
Barnsley?
No, keep going.
Millwall?
Millwall, 1.
Really? Okay.
Who were they playing?
West Brom?
No.
Was it a London derby?
It was a London derby, yes.
Okay.
QPR.
QPR.
No.
Brentford?
No.
Leighton Orient?
No.
Oh, sorry, they're in Championship now, aren't they?
And the Championship now.
Fulham?
Queen's Park Rangers.
No.
Fulham.
Fulham, that's right.
Wasn't me, that was...
Yeah, Millwall beat Fulham 1-0 on the very first Football League match on a Sunday.
Wow.
Any questions? No? Right, question 2. Anybody know the Aberdeen player who was shown a red card 3 times in the same match when he played against Dundee United in 1997? The first card was for foul play. The second card was for showing dissent. The third card was for kicking the corner flag as he stormed off the field.
Gordon Strachan? Gordon Strachan?
No.
A bit petty by the referee, that, weren't it? A bit petty by the referee, the third
Alec
one.
Ferguson?
No.
Joey Barton.
He'd have thumped the referee.
The BBC showed this recently. When I say recently, within the last 12 months, they actually featured it. I remember it. I can't remember the name of the guy.
He played for Sheffield United at one time.
Well, that explains everything.
It does, doesn't it, Ian?
It wasn't Vinnie Jones.
Only sent off 3 times?
He was sent off 3 times in the same match.
Trevor
Give him 3 red cards. Huh?
Rocky.
Not Keith Edwards.
No.
Trevor Rocky.
No. 1997. I think Trevor Rocky, was he alive then?
No.
He wasn't, was
Lol, was he
No.
actually sent off 3 times, or did he get 3 yellow cards?
he got 3 red cards in the
3
same
reds?
match. 3 reds.
3 red.
Was
He
Graham...
played for
The
United.
first one sent him off. and then he got 2 others for showing
Well, how
dissent.
did he get back on if he got the first one that sent him off?
He never actually got off.
I was only